Hey everyone, this is Joe.
And I'm JD the Third.
And as you saw in our intro, Eric was fired.
Fired, yep. It's sad, isn't it?
It is. Well, he was... What? Huh? What? Uh-huh. Who? Is that him?
I think it is. Let me go let him in.
Okay.
You're fired again.
Guess
God. Seriously? You have to seriously stop learning new knots and things to put me in. First was a slip knot. Then it was you kept telling me Scout's honor and all that stuff. Oh my God. I'm tired of getting tied up.
I do have a question though.
Yeah.
We actually get paid?
No.
Well,
I mean, yeah. I thought we did.
I thought we got paid $401,000.
That's a 401k, jackass.
Oh.
It totally makes sense now. Not really, but okay.
Okay.
Things that make me go,
So we're
totally sus.
So we are experiencing some echo. I'm hearing here. So we're trying to get that fixed. I'm trying to be the ears in the background of this episode. So if I get a little off kilter here, I'm hearing ourselves in a delay.
And I'm trying to fix the sound.
I'm just trying to get my job back and keep it this time.
Yep.
Don't get fired.
All right.
This echo, man. It keeps on sneaking up on us.
J-D-D-D.
Next up to bat, Mike Piazza. Yeah, there's a bad echo there, Joe. We'll try to get this fixed up.
Good thing it's not in the ocean. Because the last time I ever saw an echo in the ocean,
Oh, God.
it was a dolphin. Hey, I'm seeing and I'm hearing a small stir of echoes. Bad Kevin Bacon horror movie.
So
what is that one sci-fi movie they brought out called? It's not just Echo, but it looks like the front cover of it is like Wall-E after he got thrown in the ocean. Like that's essentially what the robot looks like, but it might not even be a robot, but it's called something Echo.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about.
All right.
Gosh, I'm gonna see if I can find that. Is it this one?
Yeah,
I may have fixed it.
Earth to Echo.
Earth to Echo. Well, if you fix
It sounds good.
Okay, so okay, you fixed it, and now we don't have any echoes. So I have to stop making bad puns about echoes.
Yes, you do. Okay.
Lego my echo. Ectoplasma?
I'll have that on my neck here. My headphones on my neck here for this whole thing.
Who are you going to call? Those bastards!
So guys.
I ain't afraid of no echo.
God.
Ectoplasm?
Right?
I collect spores, molds, and fungus. But how was your week?
Your face is spores.
Spores? He exfoliate.
It's exfoliate.
That's a pretty big Twinkie.
Twinkies. The thing
Yes.
that'll survive the heat death of the universe.
I'm telling you, man, Twinkies should make a comeback because, like Tallahassee and Zombieland, he liked Twinkies. Egon and Ghostbusters, he liked Twinkies.
Twinkies are horrible.
Oh, God. All right, anyways.
I haven't had that sponge cake in forever.
Yeah, right?
I refuse.
Not to let you, not to lie, but Twinkies have an expiration date.
No, they don't.
Never.
I don't like snowballs. It's not.
Yeah, we know you don't.
It's not a consistency thing.
I don't like sand.
Anyways, Joe, now that he has his coffee in him, how was your week, sir? Like JD asked.
Oh, it sucked. But that's okay.
Oh.
It was a short week, of course. It felt like a 2-week long period, though. Catching up on a whole bunch of stuff. Got declined for the job. Yeah.
Oh.
Right. But that's okay. I will keep on doing what I do. So.
Now it makes sense to me why you weren't hitting me up throughout the week. All right.
Yeah. Heard about that on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that first day back from a long weekend, and yeah, that's what you get.
Yeah.
That's okay. Big kick in the nutsack.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Bad news is, well, it's not better than good news, but it's news. So.
It's news.
Yeah.
It's something. Anyway, Eric?
Oh, God. So, yeah. You actually got to have an extra day off. I think both of you all actually had
Yes,
an
we
extra
did.
day. Yeah, right. I did.
High five.
High five.
Yeah. So I had to work Monday at my job, which wasn't bad. Let me go ahead and state that it was not bad. It was a normal day.
Just you suck.
Well, the thing was, like, I'm not even gonna recognize that. But anyways,
You just did by trying not to.
shut up. There's an echo. Anyways. So I went in there, and there was a lot of businesses that were closed on Monday because they were all celebrating the holiday, that being New Year's Day.
Oh, I heard about this.
What?
What the story you're about to tell?
Well, the thing was, like, I went in Monday, and it went throughout the entire day. It was fine. There was a couple of douchebag tow truck services. I will not mention them. We'll just call them D-bags.
D-Bags Tow.
Yeah, right? The one-stop shop.
Douchey McToe.
Yes. So they came through and, did what they needed to do. Anyways, to make a long story short, the day was over. Tuesday I come in. I'm thinking that it's going to be, people are coming back and everything's going to go very well. Yeah, not the case. In my line of work, you kind of come across some things that you don't come across at every single job. This being one where there was a person found in a vehicle that,
Yeah.
bright and early in the morning, not something you expect to see. Like, you have your morning coffee, maybe like a breakfast sandwich or whatever, and then you find a homeless person in a car, just sleeping it off. You don't know if they have intent to hurt. You don't know if they have a weapon. You don't know if they're harmless.
They were just wanting someplace to be warm for the holidays.
Yeah, but the details, like when I first went to open my job, there was some trash on the ground. And, of course, the first thing was, hey, raccoon, some sort of animal.
Right.
Was the reasoning.
Cocaine bear.
Yes. Was the reasoning that it was spread out all over the front, of the building and everything like that. But when you actually looked at some of the containers that were in the trash, I don't remember. Maybe Cocaine Bear has opposable thumbs. I don't know. I know raccoons don't. So
He has evolved.
Yeah, they do.
He has gotten stronger.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Well, then they can put things on purchase.
Yes.
And did not know that because I was like, it doesn't make sense.
Raccoons are very versatile with their hands.
They're like Swiss Army knives.
Yes.
Trash pandas.
They are trash pandas.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, that being said, like I said, long story short, we started the day. Nothing seemed to be out of the sorts. So we had just picked up the trash. And the next thing we find is the person who dumped the trash. And authorities were called. Medical first responders were called. And we have not seen him since. But yeah, not what you expect to come back to when everybody is due back to work that day.
Sure it is.
For the first time.
Surprise!
Yeah, right.
Trash panda.
So that all being said, that's kind of what it was, and it has just progressively gotten worse and went downhill. So that was my week. I'm really happy to be here, and I was jobless a minute ago because Joe found it in his heart to fire me.
You're fired, Parker.
Yeah, just because I like old man naps.
You're hired, Parker.
Because I'm old man. But yeah, I'm back, and yeah. JD, I don't know if you can beat that, but try.
Don't know if I can. It's been, the beginning of this week was pretty hectic. I mean, it's the week after another holiday.
Right.
So, that holiday sandwich kind of caused a little bit of issues with our setup of deliveries, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But we finally got things to calm down yesterday, is what it felt like. But today was really calm. I don't know how next week's going to entail, because we had some interesting issues this morning. I was told that involved our people not being able to put stuff in for Friday to Saturday, really. So everybody put in for Sunday to Monday. Surprise!
Right. Of course.
See, here's the thing. I just thought about this. We've done this podcast for
almost 2 years.
A couple of episodes. So we've never actually said what we do for a living.
No.
I just want to sit there and specify to people out there that if you ever thought from the things that we've talked about when we talk about our weeks and, how hell really does exist, I can't hold it back anymore. I just can't. I have to. Our fans need to know a little bit more personal. We need to personalize it a little bit more. People, Joe, what he does for a living is he buys and builds things. You probably use them. You don't know this. I'm not going to say that it's not like that big shiny red button that, people have problems not pushing. But he might be in charge of that. You never know.
I'm a hitman.
JD, on the other hand, you think that, he kind of specifies a little bit of it. He's a postman. He delivers your packages.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Rain nor snow nor sunshine. I don't know my own postman
motto.
But I do build stuff too,
That is very true.
You do.
Yeah.
Yes. I have started building, or I've been building Legos, if you remember.
Oh, yeah.
And I just finished the Mighty Bowser.
The arms were the last thing that you needed to build.
Yeah,
and
it was
he
weird.
Looks flawless now.
Yes, he looks great. I did have one issue with the headpiece, or his head. So I had to literally break apart his head and redo the whole thing from scratch without any rules, instructions. So, but you saw it came out okay.
There are no rules, and the points don't matter.
Yeah.
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 And that's all I'm going to say about that before we start this up, because I don't need to let anybody know what I do for a living.
So, real quick, I gotta do this. In this action-packed romantic comedy, Neo, the Chosen One, is a retired hero trying to live a quiet life in the real world. But when he meets John Wick, a former hitman trying to put his violent past behind him, the two men are instantly drawn to each other. As Neo and John navigate the challenges of dating in their high-stress professions, they must also team up to take down a common enemy, a group of rogue agents who are threatening to expose the truth about the Matrix to the world. With a mix of martial arts, gunplay, and hilarious misunderstandings, this Neo and John Wick romantic comedy will have you laughing and rooting for their unlikely love story.
Why? Why? I love how he didn't ever emphasize the fact that they're twins.
My own clone.
I can see John going up to Neo and being like, "Hey,
And then Neo goes, I know Kung Fu. And John Wick literally looks at him and goes, no, you don't.
You should do the sequel, but it has Bill and Ted in it.
Oh, God. At first, they wanted to sit there and share the fact that Trinity and the dog was all that mattered. Now it's just blowing it out of proportion.
Does that thing actually bring up a discussion too, if you wanted to, a reasoning, an explanation? Can you get it to explain how? Uh oh.
Hold on, I'm waiting for it to write.
Okay, well, while it's writing,
yeah,
can you ask it to explain how Keanu Reeves is an immortal vampire?
Ooh, I could. Okay, hold on. In this action-packed romantic comedy sequel, Bill and Ted are back and ready for their next adventure. When they meet Neo and John Wick, the duo are immediately drawn to the retired heroes and their impressive skills. As they team up to take down a new threat to the Matrix, Bill and Ted find themselves caught in the middle of a love triangle with Neo and John Wick. With their unique blend of time travel, musical prowess, and martial arts, the four men must navigate the challenges of dating in their high-stress professions and find a way to save the world. Filled with hilarious misunderstandings, heart-pounding action, and a dash of romance, this sequel to the Neo and John Wick romance comedy will have you laughing and rooting for the unlikely love story between Bill, Ted, Neo, and John.
I feel so bad for Alex Winter right now because he's looking at Keanu Reeves being like, bitch, you're all three of them. I don't know what this love triangle. You're the same guy. You just have split personalities.
He just loves himself.
And Keanu Reeves just looks at him and goes, excellent! Wild stallions!
What was the question you wanted to ask it?
Why Keanu Reeves is an immortal vampire?
Yes.
It's because he does movies like Point Break. You gotta go down, Bodhi!
No!
Oh god, he was in Bram Stoker's Dracula. I forgot he was Harker. Shit!
Hopefully it doesn't get too conspiratorial.
Yeah, right?
Oh, let's find out here. Why?
I can remember them doing an interview with him being like, so Keanu, what is your role in Bram Stoker? I turn away 3 vampire girls when they're trying to get the best of me, and I end up losing Winona Ryder before she became a klepto, and I have gray hair. That's really it. That's all I do in the movie.
How bad
It is no fun.
It is no fun.
Keanu Reeves is not an immortal vampire.
Aww.
This is a rumor that has circulated online for many years, but it is not true. Sounds like something.
Tell it to give us a counter argument of why he is.
Give a counter.
Because they're going to look at. They're going to sit there and tell Joe because he can't go past 85 on a school bus. I'm sorry, that wasn't a school bus. It was a bus in the movie Speed.
Honestly, there has to be some facts out there from the internet.
It can't give a counter argument.
Is it because vampires are fictional?
Oh, it's not going to give us a devil's advocate.
Nice. They won't give us a devil's advocate, but they will give us a replacement.
Right. As an AI, I am not capable of playing the role of the devil's advocate in the way that you are asking.
Oh.
However, I can present you with potential arguments that might be made in favor of the idea. Some people might argue that Keanu Reeves has not aged significantly over the past few decades, which could be seen as evidence of his immortality. However, it is not uncommon for people to age differently, and there are many factors that influence how someone ages, such as genetics, lifestyle, and overall health. Some people might claim that Keanu Reeves has certain vampire-like qualities, such as superhuman strength or the ability to mesmerize others.
Whoa.
Some people might point to various conspiracy theories or alleged sightings of Keanu Reeves as evidence of vampirism.
I'm just asking myself, like, where the hell did this podcast go? Like, we're going.
That being said,
we're going
I
deep
can tell you
down
where it's
the rabbit
going.
hole.
Are you a fan of science fiction that makes you think? Look no further than Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep?
Nailed it.
Now available on Audible.
In a post-apocalyptic world ravaged by nuclear war, humanity has fled to the off-world colonies, leaving Earth to be inhabited by androids, highly advanced human-like machines. But when a group of rogue androids go on a killing spree, it's up to Rick Deckard, a bounty hunter specializing in retiring rogue agents, to track them down. As Rick hunts the androids, he's forced to confront his own humanity and the blurred lines between man and machine. With thought-provoking themes and a gripping storyline, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep is a must-listen for any science fiction fan.
So get your copy of Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep by Keanu Reeves on Audible today and dive into a world of artificial intelligence. Thank God he wasn't in that shitty movie. And moral dilemmas using audibletrial.com/podsquad number 1. That's right. The number 1, of course.
Thanks, Audible.
Don't cast Keanu.
Next episode of Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, hold on.
It's over 9,000.
No, don't.
Right?
No. What have I done?
He's going to charge up.
episode
And then, like...
Dragon.
Yeah, no, Joe's going to start charging up, and about 15 episodes later, he'll do a trick.
So I have to say before he starts reading this spout, do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep later on became inspiration for a movie called Blade Runner. So yes, if you want to get the original, again, Audible.
And that movie is really looked at, like, of course, when you had told me about that and everything, and then reading the detailed Audible ad and hearing Deckard, like anything with sci-fi and you hear the last name Deckard, if you are of old school mentality sci-fi movies and everything, Blade Runner should be the first thing you think of. It was one of Harrison Ford's best roles.
I will say one thing about it. When it first came out, people said that the original edit was not that good.
Right.
But then they released another edit, and it was good. And then they released another edit, and it was good. And I heard they released another edit.
Oh, yeah. And then another 16 edits after that.
All
There
the
was a
edits.
game on Sega CD, though, that is one of the most valuable games that you can get, but it's called Snatcher.
Oh, yes.
It is actually kind of loosely based on Blade Runner.
Also, fun fact, Hideo Kojima,
Yep. That is correct.
who later on became Metal Gear Solid fame.
Yep.
Joe?
Yes.
What crazy shit did you do?
I asked it to
Make a-
write me a short story.
Oh, like,
About Vegeta.
No, just a short story.
hey, Vegeta?
So I have been playing with this a lot, right?
Yeah,
Obviously,
we can tell.
Yeah, and so I'm sitting there thinking, like, one of our topics that was axed was the thought of having some kind of a AI buster, right?
Yes.
So besides that fact, I just told it to write a short story, right? And it has written a nice little short story here. Now,
What was the topic, Joe?
No, I didn't give it a topic.
Oh,
I just
okay.
told it to write a short story. Now, the question I have is, this could be a good starting point for aspiring writers
Yeah.
to start off you're sitting there, you're trying to write something, and you just got that lock. You don't know what to write about.
Give me a short paragraph.
Yeah.
Just
And this one gave me a decent start to the story. The air was crisp and cool as Emily walked through the forest. Her breath was visible in the morning light. She had always loved the peace and solitude of the woods, and she often came here to clear her mind and find inspiration for her art.
At the Nobi estate.
Yeah. But no, look at this.
Holy crap.
Yeah, like, I mean, it wrote a short story.
Huh. That is kind of creepy, how easy that was.
And I did not give it any topic to follow.
Huh. I really do need to look into using that program just to mess with stuff myself.
Yeah, I mean, it's really neat. They've got some other stuff, too. The OpenAI team does, so.
I kind of want to do what Joe just did and be like go on there and sit there and not ask for it to write me a short story. I just wanted to sit there and write what happened and why I never got the Dragon Zord Green Ranger Dragon Zord toy. Tell me that, AI. Tell me why I didn't get that.
Because your father didn't love you as much as he loves me.
Can you ask why there's a clown in the attic?
Can you actually ask it
why I'm going to kill you later on for sitting there saying that?
Why is there a clown in
no.
the attic? It is not clear why there would be a clown in the attic.
It's just where the clown floated to.
The idea of a clown in the attic is a mysterious and potentially unsettling image, which there is a clown in my
Sherlock.
attic. But without more context, it is difficult to determine the meaning or significance of this image. In literature and film, the presence of a clown in the attic or other hidden locations could be used to symbolize... where was it? Oh, shit. Symbolize a variety of things such as characters' fear or repressed memories, or the presence of a mysterious or malevolent force. However, without further information, it is impossible to say why there might be a clown in the attic. And I don't know why there's a... People, there is a mysterious clown doll in my attic. I have no clue how it got there. I do not know who put it there. I don't remember it being there when we moved in. There is a mysterious clown doll in my attic.
And he has to go up there every year and see this
Couple
thing.
times a year, yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, JD, I might need your help.
Oh, no. I don't want to go up there.
He knows not to ask me because I won't go up there.
But
They all float up there, JD.
Yeah. Beep, beep.
Beep, beep, Richie. And when you're up there, you'll float too.
We have really gone off the rails here.
Yeah. So we do need to go into a little bit of stuff that's been happening here. Again, this is a very spread out episode because of holiday, etc., etc., etc. I didn't get a chance to put our notes in, so we're winging it again.
Yay!
Yay! So...
Yay!
Mad game.
Mad game.
Yeah. So, first on our topic list was an unfortunate one of... This week has kind of been a little hectic in accidents, unfortunately.
Yes.
Yeah.
One in particular is Jeremy Renner. If you didn't know, on January 1st, he got involved in a very dangerous snowplowing accident. He's as of right now, he's in stable condition. I think they recently got him in a he went to get a heated spa treatment thing.
I believe so, yeah.
So that they could kind of help with his muscles and all that stuff. Because from what I didn't get specific details, but did the snowplow land on top of him? Roll on top of him?
I believe it did to where...
God.
We're trying to say...
We're getting very serious here, and then we turn around and literally he's AI generated a poster of John Wick and Neo kissing.
They're not kissing. They're just close.
That's part of the dark web matrix. That's the matrix you don't want to visit.
Oh gosh.
Everyone.
John Wick definitely took the wrong pill. But to get back on subject, yes, supposedly he was, when they first brought him in, he was critical because there was a lot. I don't remember if the snowplow, I want to say it did roll over him, which is what actually messed, I think it was either his arm or his leg that got shredded pretty bad. To where they're talking about him possibly never being able to use.
It was a snowcat vehicle.
Yeah, he had a snowcat, and that's why he had the accident. And there's actually a picture on
I'm pulling it up right now
online with him in the snowcat. He yeah, it's a large machine.
Yeah, I can see where if it did roll on top of him. Oof. Yeah, that's a big vehicle.
And the messed up part was the reason he was out there was to actually, because of the weather being so bad, that he was actually trying to clear away so people could actually get there.
Yep. Up in northern Nevada. Received heavy snowfall due to a snowstorm on New Year's Eve. 31,000 people lost power over there. I should know this because there's closures and stuff. But yeah, I'm glad to hear that he is doing better, though.
Yes. Yeah.
The other news, I didn't get much. This one's kind of winging because I don't know much, unfortunately, about sports. But
yeah, what was his name?
I will pull him up real quick.
Oh, you're talking about the Buffalo Bills player?
Yeah.
Yes. DeMar Hamlin?
Yeah,
yes,
DeMar Hamlin. Yeah, he got tackled just right. He stood up, took 2 steps, and fell backwards.
He was actually the one that did the tackling.
Oh yeah, was he?
Yes.
Well,
it was a return. It was a kick return.
Gotcha.
And when he went to hit him, it looked like a normal run, like just everyday tackle.
Yeah, a little bit more shoulder into that hit, though, too, I got to point out.
And it caused him to go into cardiac arrest.
Right. Yes, you could see it happen. It was literally a switch. And
he was oxygen deprived for, I think they said, about 9 minutes. Which is a very long time. And so they were worried about his recovery. If he did recover, he would probably have some type of brain damage. So, and it's unknown yet whether he does have that brain damage or if he will be able to come back to work to play in the NFL. The messed up part about this whole story is that the whole reason they called off the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
The NFL chairman told them they had 5 minutes to stretch out and get back on the field and start playing. The players refused. The coaches refused.
Yeah.
It took them 59 minutes, so an hour basically.
I saw a bit of this before I went to bed.
For them to call the game off.
It's a good example of they should, at that point, why force the players to try to do this? Why force...
I am lucky enough to work for a company that generally cares about its employees, but this is why some industries do need unions.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, it's all about the money.
I'm saying unfortunately because it ends up becoming a lot about the dinero, the money.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, they do have player unions, but there has been discrepancies over the years with players' union representatives and the actual main, like, whatever league it is. So it is continuously just going back and forth. They fight a lot of the year, a lot of the season, and it kind of ruins it for other players. The last big event before this would have been the salary cap, where the players' union believed that they're, the people that were in the union needed more money.
because of what they put themselves at risk and everything. But with this story, there's been a lot of different viewpoints from different sides. Somebody that I talked to at my job sat there and said that he knew the risk. He signed up to play in that game. If he didn't know that he had that going on with him, that's not the league's fault. So you have that.
But at the same time, it also says that doctors have said this can just happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
it could be a hidden issue.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, not even a hidden issue. It could just be something that triggers, and it wasn't a pre-existing issue.
I mean, again, it's that whole situation where the guy, like, it was one of those perfect moment, perfect time, horrible outcome type thing, where he got hit in the right spot at the right angle. It's just unfortunate.
It is.
It is, and we hope a speedy recovery is going to happen and everything like that. I will say one thing about the league, though. They will sit there and they've already had concussion protocols, because that is one thing in a contact sport. If you're hitting helmet to helmet, which they've tried to avoid, but sometimes you can't avoid it.
Right.
They have intensified their concussion protocols.
Mm-hmm.
Their overall just health checks and everything like that, because of the what happened to him, they will probably be doing more extensive checkups as far as all mental, or not mental health, but actual health is concerned.
I do have an update on this from last night. They did remove his breathing tube.
Did
right.
they?
Yeah, he is actually talking.
And he was recently FaceTiming with his teammates.
Right.
So he's doing quite a bit better. They're saying he is progressing remarkably in his recovery. So that's good to hear.
They were actually saying the night of the game that when he was actually, like you had said, what was that? How many minutes was he on the field?
Like 9 minutes.
Somebody had said that when they gave him the jolt,
yeah,
the machine was doing all the work.
Right.
Like he was being, supposedly, from what they were saying, and I don't mean to offend anybody, but it was the fact that since, he had been on there for 9 minutes and everything like that, like he was declared that he had passed on. And the machine was the one doing all the work for it and everything. So I'm very glad to see that he has no breathing tube and that things are starting to progress in a positive way. It's one of those injuries that I'm trying to remember the right word for it and everything, but like you said, the right way. It's a very bad thing to talk about, and it's bad that he's having to go through it and everything like that. But it's one of those almost like a fluke injury.
Yeah.
Like he didn't expect. Nobody expected it.
I have to add on another spectrum too, and this is something that I really do want to point out. That people, the internet's being kind of a piece of shit right now, too.
Yeah.
So I don't know the name of the person that was the other side of the hit.
Okay.
I can't remember the name. The person who tried to tackle him.
Yeah.
But he is getting a lot of flack.
Right.
And
Really?
that's not right. That's horrendous.
Mm-hmm.
No, you've got to think of what he's also dealing with too, which is kind of...
Oh, yeah, he's
he's
literally got to be messed up in his head from all that. I mean, you could have almost killed someone.
Yeah, exactly. And I know that, like, I did check his Twitter feed recently, and he did post a thing like wishing all the hope and prayers, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, hoping for a speedy recovery and everything. So,
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, there's people online right now that are like, from what I've heard, like giving him death threats and stuff like that, and that's just not right.
It's not. But like you said, you made a very excellent point that it's the internet. They're gonna.
It's the internet, and I hate to sit there and say it too, sports fans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But a lot of people feel more safe behind a keyboard to where they won't be
Oh, yeah.
exposed.
Because, yeah, if you're behind a keyboard, no one can get you.
But yeah, I guess moving on a bit here. Again, I hope for the best for both.
Yes.
And definitely we'll keep track of that, and if any other updates come up for our next episode, we'll let you know.
Definitely pass it along.
So, but moving on a bit, we do have something else about AI.
We do?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Also, I might point out, we just got a note in chat from Pirate Queen 009.
Oh, hey, Pirate Queen, we haven't seen you in a little bit.
Yes. The clown is in the attic because the basement was full.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you looking at me, Joe?
He's looking at you, too.
Yes. But, yes.
Attack from above.
Companies now, Joe, can now
Yeah.
hire a virtual person for $14K a year in China.
So why would you hire a digital person, like a virtual person?
So the main reasoning for this, people use these people for advertising. Financial service companies would use them. Tourism boards, state media.
Why wouldn't you just create your own?
Well, I mean, for some of these type of characters and stuff, some of these companies aren't exactly tech savvy with that, and it is a generated caricature. Like for China, they're using what the picture I see here was a pianist, Lang Lang, in 2019, the Winter Olympics, used a AI generated character to do like music and all that stuff for this. I mean, I see the benefits of doing this. You kind of have a way of getting technically a cheaper actor
Right.
for this type of thing. You have a way of doing direction better with it, because we do live in this setup now that virtual characters can technically be on stage. Now, go watch the Gorillas or
Right.
Death Clock.
yeah, I think they
Tupac.
have. I think they've had their caricatures.
What?
Tupac.
Oh, God.
Yeah, he's correct. He
yeah.
is correct. There was a Tupac virtual performance. Hell, I think freaking Nintendo did it with characters from Splatoon. Wow. So, 45% of advertisers said that they might sponsor a virtual influencer performance or invite a virtual person to join a brand event. I mean, for $14K a year, that's not bad. I mean, they're basically paying a company to make this character for their likeness rights, etc., etc., etc. So they're just buying a license, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, I see this being a thing down the line. I mean, I pulled up an article today that I was looking at that Twitch, some company, I don't know if it's a company, but somebody has tested this on Twitch and made a VTuber that is entirely AI generated. I would not recommend looking at that because people are trolling the shit out of it because it learns. So you can guess how the internet has been doing with that.
Oh, yeah. Just like the good old Microsoft AI.
Yeah, and then there was the Tay AI. And
That was the Microsoft.
it was,
one,
yeah. They're getting better with it. They've got moderators now. But this robot plays games while doing the stuff with the chat.
Okay.
So that's kind of pretty crazy with an AI, if you think about it. Because
Yeah.
it's learning that while playing a game, like the video I saw a quick clip of, the character was playing Minecraft. Which,
Okay.
you know, very simplistic game. Technically, there's a lot of stuff you got to do in that game. You know, building, crafting, breaking stuff down, mining, blah, 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 blah. So, you know, they're sitting there, this thing is sitting there and playing the game while talking with people in chat and being silly. So, I mean, it's a good example. I don't know. It's kind of creepy how well that this is getting to now. There's another example here at a Future Life Festival last year in Hangzhou, China, where they had virtual characters being part of the backup dancers.
Wow.
They're also starting virtual anchors, which are direct avatars of people using special technology to reach their audience. Their company said 230,000 virtual anchors started broadcasting on its platform since 2019, and the broadcasting time in 2022 has surged about 200%. Tencent said in its latest earnings call that Tencent Cloud AI digital humans provide chatbots to sectors such as financial services and tourism to automated customer support. The company's next studio also developed a virtual singer and virtual sign language interpreter.
Huh. That's kind of neat.
Yeah, so it's getting pretty good. I know this company. There's a Japanese video game developer called MiHoYo, which has done a few Android type games. They've used this as ways to get into the gaming industry. They developed another model of a virtual person in a joint venture with Hixie Media. So, again, it's just multiple companies getting into this. This is China doing this right now.
Right.
But how much sooner will Japan get it? And the U.S. will start getting pushed into this a little bit more.
Yeah.
So, something to look into in the future of weird technologies, I guess. But moving on a bit, again, we're jumping back and forth between Streaming Corner and so we're kind of hopping back and forth.
Well, yeah, we don't have any specific route this time.
Me and Eric would know a little bit about this one quite a bit more.
Yes.
But they are making the next Conjuring movie, apparently. The Conjuring 4?
That is the working title right now. I would have just named it Ed and Lorraine Warren's Bust. Would have been a perfect title for that movie because they've made 3 other Conjuring movies. They've done 17 Annabelle movies. They've done The Nun. It's when are they going to realize that just Ed and Lorraine Warren were not good at their job?
Oh.
Yeah. That's a complete farce. They were actually great at their job. But, either they had enough stories to where they just continuously keep bringing, those 2 back to kind of explore the fact. Because Ed and Lorraine Warren had a room where the original Annabelle doll was kept, and it was under lock and key. People could go in there and actually look at the museum of all the artifacts that they have and everything, and most of them were cursed artifacts, but they were told never to touch or bring them out of that room.
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever.
All those warnings and all those things in that glass container that they had it in.
And it's kind of okay, so either somebody screwed up, or in the preview or the detailed notes that we have, or James Wan has basically done all of the Conjuring movies. I don't know about all the spin-offs, but he's definitely been at the forefront for all the Conjuring movies. He is a fan of Ed and Lorraine Warren. He's already specified that. Mm-hmm. Again, like I said, they had plenty of stories that they could talk about with all of their cursed objects. Hence,
all these
17 Annabelle movies.
Spin-offs.
Right. And it's kind of and they're going to continue, hopefully, this Conjuring movie. I'm not saying that they're bad movies.
I haven't asked people lately, at work, that used to talk about, Annabelle and all that. Because it was one of those things where it's a horror movie that popped up and everybody's like, oh, man, have you seen the new movie? Because apparently they weren't horrible.
Right.
So, apparently, while promoting his new Killer Doll movie, Megan...
Yes.
Apparently, which is good, I've been told.
I do want to check that movie out.
And creepy. The Conjuring director James Wan sat down with Collider's resident horror expert, Elise Wax. I think I said that right. During their conversation, Wax made sure to ask about the next Conjuring movie and what future plans Wan had for the franchise. He assured fans that still this franchise is near and dear to his heart, of course.
Right.
I actually really love the first Conjuring movie.
I do too. I was about to mention that as being like the jump scare. Yes, the jump scares, the exorcism, essentially.
Yeah.
In the movie and stuff like that was really well done.
It was a tense horror movie than a jump scare movie, in my opinion.
Yeah, and then of course at the very towards the end, spoiler alert, even though I think everybody's seen it, when she actually does get taken over by the demonic force, there was I always look at the scene in the movie as the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. It's essentially the same thing that leads you to Narnia. Difference being is they don't ever get a chance to open the doors and go to Narnia, because when you look above it at the very top, you have a demonic possessed figure that takes over your body. And I'm like, well, shit. If they would have put this part in Chronicles of Narnia, I would have been a bigger fan. But
Mr.
they never
Tubness,
did.
What are you doing up there?
You're right.
Oh God. But yeah, Juan said during the interview, "Yeah, we're working on it right now with the Conjuring films. We are very precious about them. So we kind of want to take our time and make sure we get it right, and to make sure the emotion of the Warren stories that we want to tell, and moving into and potentially wrapping up, we just want to make sure that it's the right thing and the right story that we're telling." At the mention of potentially wrapping up, Wax asked Juan if the next film would be the last. And if you're like me, you're ready to watch as many of these as possible, as the person said in the interview. Depends on how good they are, unfortunately. You'll be thrilled to know that Juan's response is, "We never know, you never know, we'll see." Which, very vague.
Extremely vague. But
Yeah.
one thing that I did want to say is, as far as the Conjuring movies, I think I enjoyed them more than around the same time, or a little bit before The Conjuring actually was promoted and came out. There was a little small movie that was, I would like to say loosely, not based, but just loosely kind of similar to it, which would have been the Insidious franchise. They continuously keep making Insidious movies. And it's kind of like the Conjuring movies, to me, and Insidious, they kind of fall in the same thing. It's almost like back in the time when they brought out The Ring, The Grudge, Saw, around, all different types of horror movies, but they all came out at the same time. The Conjuring and Insidious, to me, actually come off as not the same movie, but very similar. So I believe that The Conjuring is a better movie. I don't know. I don't know if it has enough in it, with this being the fourth installment that they're going to do. I don't think it has enough in it to be like a 7 to 8 movie series. So, I do believe that the actors that play Ed and Lorraine Warren do a fantastic job.
Yes, I do. I give that for sure.
I can't remember what the woman's name is. I think Patrick Wilson is the actual guy who plays
I'm going to pull that
Ed
up. Conjuring. Vera Farmiga?
Okay.
Vera
Patrick
Farmiga. But no, she does a good job. And
Yes.
I think if I remember correctly, even in the very first movie at the very end, they almost do a comparison with the real with the real Warren group.
Oh, yeah.
Couple and the actors.
Mm-hmm.
And they did a pretty good job with likenesses.
Oh, yeah.
So,
well, like we were talking about, like the first Conjuring movie, they did it right.
mm-hmm.
Like they had some really good scenes in that movie that just kind of made you, after the movie was turned off and the credits rolled and you shut it off and stuff, and the TV was turned off, you definitely thought, like, you didn't want anybody clapping behind you.
Oh gosh. I will say, moving on a bit here again. I'm going to pull something up here since we're getting into the horror movie stuff real quick.
Yep.
Another announcement was this week, actually, was the Evil Dead trailer.
Oh, yes.
The new one, Evil Dead Rise. Joe, you didn't get a chance to watch this, you said.
No, I did not.
So the trailer that I posted in our group was the Red Band trailer. And you can definitely tell that it was the fucking Red Band trailer.
Yes.
Holy shit.
Extremely graphic and gory.
They are
I'm okay
definitely
with this.
they are definitely going with how like the first Evil Dead movie was, and the remake, which was a bloodbath.
Yes.
So from what I got with the plot, the Deadite in the story is this family's mother.
Okay.
Is what it looked like.
I would understand. Yeah, I would agree with that.
So they didn't really give the details per se of how this family comes across the Book of the Dead. In the trailer, it shows that the Book of the Dead is there, and they sit there and play the Nobi cassettes, and all the fun begins. But some of the kills that they showed in the clips were just terrifying.
Yes. See, the one thing that got me was like listening to an interview with Bruce Campbell. He is a producer on this movie.
Yep.
But he is being extremely vague and throwing it out there, be like, "I'm not in the movie.
I'm not here.
Yeah.
I'm not there."
And it's kind of like, dude, okay, we understand. Like hardcore horror fans of that series and stuff would definitely understand that he is just completely overly trying to pull the wool over our eyes. We know better.
I would love to see him come back. I know that he has technically said he has put the chainsaw up.
Yes. He is retired from Ash Williams, which made me painfully tear up the day that he did that. But, you know, he's also... a lot of people didn't expect him in the original, like the remake of Evil Dead. Nobody expected to see him in that.
Yep.
And then at the very end, like, boom, he's right there. And it's kind of like, all right. I hated the fact that Ash versus the Evil Dead on the Starz Network. I hated the fact that it only lasted 3 seasons.
Yep.
You know, I had actually spoken about that in my Evil Dead retrospective on our website. But it's Bruce Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna mess with you. It's just gonna happen. I will say though,
He probably feels really great torturing another character, not himself.
Oh, of course. One of the things about like the original remake that came out before this one, like I think I had actually put on social media after I had saw it in the theaters. I watched it very closely and I realized who actually read the Necronomicon and brought the Deadites back in that movie. And my post on social media was like, it only takes a guy named Eric to open up the Book of the Dead and read scriptures from it, and that's what starts Hell on Earth.
Yeah.
Technically, in that movie, there was a guy named Eric, and he was the one that started the whole shit, so... If you ever see me walking around with the Book of the Dead, just run away.
If there's a book that looks like it has skin on it and it's in Eric's hands, push it out of his hands and say, "Stop that.
Right.
Don't do that." That's bad.
Might be fun.
That's bad. Like Wizards of the Coast.
Oh, God, Wizards of the Coast.
So, moving back into the weird entertainment side of things, I do have a story. I've talked about this once before in a minor point, but I kind of wanted to get into this a bit. So, it's the 30th anniversary of Magic the Gathering.
It is.
You know, 30th anniversary. Big thing. Big deal. I give
The
them
game's
that.
been out for 30 years.
Yes.
Yes.
That's how old we are.
Hey, I'm older than it.
Barely.
So for the
6
20th
years.
anniversary, they gave out a lot of stuff, I was told. I haven't looked too much into it. And guess what? They gave that out for pretty much free.
Really?
Yeah. So for the 30th anniversary, what do you think they would be giving out? What do you think they would be? Would it be a nice special edition card or anything like that? Something nice.
Yes,
So
they should give a special edition card that is land. That's it.
A land card.
Yes. That has 0 hit points and no power. And the messed up part is I'm talking like I've actually ever played this game. I never learned how to play Magic. So JD, continue.
So I did get into Magic a little bit. I was usually a white-green deck person. But beside that point...
I was green-black, so...
Oh, you were a powerhouse.
Yeah.
I was the person that made
You guys
the game.
continue. I'm out of this conversation.
I was the person that had a deck that was like, oh, you want to last 50 turns? I'm there. So for the 30th anniversary, they released a gigantic thing for this. A big thing filled with boosters that had all the old, basically shelved cards.
Okay.
So, like Black Lotus.
Okay.
Which
Yeah.
collectors would know that.
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of cards like in that time period and everything. And, again, big collectible. Two big issues with this. They're not playable.
Right.
It was a special back on them. So that it would just say like 30th anniversary edition. And then, this on the other side. So they were not playable cards.
Right.
Okay, they're just collector's pieces. Okay. Second, boosters. They're all boosters. So somebody that has never played a card game, a booster pack is a pack that you do not know what's in it. It's like the old school, there's 8 cards in this plastic holder. You rip it open and you see what you get.
Right.
So this whole thing is a booster pack set that has, let me pull that up. It contained 4 booster packs, 15 cards. Didn't know what you're getting.
Didn't know what you're getting.
Yeah. Each pack housed 13 modern frame reprints of beta cards with 2 retro frame treatment cards, 1 basic land and 1 more random card. Well, that all sounds amazing for collectors. Do you know how much this fucking thing cost?
$18 bajillion.
$1,000.
I was close.
Yes, $1,000 for 15 random fucking cards that you have no idea what you're getting.
I'd do it.
It isn't the only issue with this thing, like I said. Say you have the money to spare, you do end up playing for this anniversary. You won't be able to use these in tournament. While the collection does contain reprints of the Magic's classic beta in both original retro and new modern frames, they are not tournament legal. They also feature an exclusive card backing that prevents them from being played in most formats. So best use is just a collector's item. Still, at that price, if the price doesn't bother, you're fine with the anniversaries being a collector's item. You would at least hope that it would include officially licensed artwork. It turned out that you'd be hoping against hope. The pack may contain artwork that Wizards doesn't own the rights to as well. Justin Hoover was made aware of one of these cards. For example, one of these artworks was created by his father, Quentin Hoover. However, Justin claims that Wizards of the Coast never contacted him or his family about it. And just, fuck it.
God.
But no, there's just so many issues with this in my head. I feel like Wizards kind of trying to kill Magic the Gathering now.
They've been trying for years.
Well, another thing with Magic the Gathering that I would point out is the decks were built the story. There was a story. There was a story about planeswalkers in multiple dimensions. I can't remember all the names. I think one of them was Innistrad, which was the horror dimension. Their plane that you could get stuff that all the black cards came out of. There was one that was an elemental plane that all the red cards came out of.
Yeah.
Et cetera, et cetera. And they all had stories with the planeswalkers. Lately, Magic has gone the route of let's do crossovers and using the excuse of the planes set. So we got Warhammer in there. We got the only one that I think makes sense in crossovers. They got D&D stuff in there.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But Warhammer, Transformers, Fortnite, I think Terminator got in there. There's the crossovers are kind of getting a little over the top.
A little bit.
And from what I've gotten out of it as well, they have tried to make cash grabs on multiple things. There was a type of version that people have made. I don't know the play style per se, but it was a different type of deck system where you can only have one of each card, I think is what it was. So you'd have to have a truly unique random deck.
Right.
You had to get used to this combo system with it. So there's all these homebrew ones.
Yeah.
And everything. That's kind of how it was meant to be. Like, hey, this is just a cool play style. Good on them.
Right.
Magic sat there and was like, we got you guys. Now we're going to make cards specially for that. So now they make decks based around that now. So the people that were sitting there and playing this as a fun little game now, like, here's my $20 fun set that I made.
Yeah.
Ah, shit. There's a guy that's coming in with the $10,000 combo set that's never going to lose.
God.
So, I don't know. It's just another example of companies failing really bad.
But as long as people pay for them, I mean...
Well, that's the issue, too, like I said. They are losing money because it is Hasbro. Wizards of the Coast is owned by Hasbro. And it has been noted that Hasbro is losing a lot of money this past year.
Really?
Their biggest moneymaker is still Magic the Gathering, though.
Wow.
I think 65% of their sales.
Gee whiz.
So,
okay.
I don't know. It's just, I would hope that they wouldn't destroy their moneymaker. But, and again, I haven't played in forever, but it's just kind of a note of something from our past.
Right.
Kind of going topside. Or going belly up and going down.
Right.
So, memories. I do have another memory, though, Joe.
What's up?
I'm going to hop around again. You remember Gladiator?
I do. I love that movie. Even with all of its historical inaccuracies.
Are you not entertained?
Well, apparently people were entertained enough. Because there's a sequel coming.
45 years later.
Yes, Ridley Scott.
Eric is older than this movie.
Yeah.
So Ridley Scott is returning to Rome after 20 years. According to Deadline, Gladiator 2 is finally happening, and Ridley Scott is returning to the helm. The original Gladiator, which hit theaters in 2000.
Damn.
It was a blockbuster hit. Won 5 awards, including Best Picture and Best Actor for Russell Crowe. Now Scott is bringing Rome back to the big screen in the film's first ever sequel. True. The new film will star Paul Mescal, best known for his role in a Hulu limited series, Normal People. He also starred in a critically acclaimed 2022 film, After Sun, which is currently a contender during the awards season. I don't know much about those.
Right.
No.
He is also well-known. Apparently, he is a well-known social media heartthrob for audiences. I, again, don't know him.
Right.
I don't understand this, but again, actors out of nowhere usually can end up being pretty good.
Right.
It'll be his first leading role in a major studio production. So hopefully he turns out well in that. Everybody knows the original plot for Gladiator. So I'm wondering if this has anything to do with Maximus.
Right.
And if I remember correctly, the show kind of ended, or the movie ended pretty abrupt.
Yeah.
We don't know exactly what happened after the big thing of the death of
Russell Crowe.
Well, Russell Crowe and Joaquin Phoenix's
Yeah.
emperor. What?
Neo and Russell Crowe.
Stop. Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
What was his name in the movie?
Maximus.
Why would you tell him that?
Maximus Decimus Meridius.
Yeah, spell that.
That's not hard.
I mean, people need to understand, like, we could answer this question for you. You don't have to make a Gladiator 2. We could tell you what happened to Russell Crowe and Joaquin Phoenix. Like, they both died in that movie. Russell Crowe became Zeus, and Joaquin Phoenix became the Joker.
It depends on what
Period.
It depends on what multiverse Joaquin Phoenix went to. He either went to the Joker verse, or he went to
The Johnny Cash verse?
the Johnny Cash verse. He also fell in love with a phone in one universe.
Yeah. Very true.
So, really, Joaquin Phoenix is a wild card. Russell Crowe, he got reborn as multiple things as well.
Right.
He was a South Park character.
Wow. Hey, don't talk about your master and commander.
He was also a British. Wasn't he in was it a Robin Hood movie, if I remember correctly?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gosh. Russell Crowe's been quite a few things, too. It's been a...
Russell Crowe wasn't the right... Yeah, he was.
He was Zeus recently.
Yep.
Which was a good... Probably one of my favorite, more recent roles with him.
Uh-huh.
Because he actually... So it was in Thor, he played Zeus, and to be honest, he played Zeus correctly. Debaucherous and horrible. You're not invited to the orgy.
Yeah, right.
Oh, he's making oh gosh, what's his script? But as we hear more about this one, we'll let you know about it.
Oh yeah, I love the fact that in the preview for it and everything like that, there is a video underneath that has Sigourney Weaver as Ellen Ripley, because Ridley Scott's one of his first films was the original Alien movie. I'm just hoping, I guess just myself, I'm hoping that Gladiator 2's tagline in the movie poster is going to be like, in Rome, no one can hear you scream.
So no
like,
one
let's bridge the gap. Let's put both of them together.
So no one can be entertained?
No.
Oh God. Oh God.
Instead of putting Russell Crowe's character or whoever it will be that is the prisoner, if there is a prisoner, and you put him in the Nostromo, like, that'd be hilarious.
Joe, how was your? Did it turn out? It didn't turn out well. No. Well, I will move on then.
Yeah.
And we will look at 2 new tech items.
Ooh, tell me about Sony.
So you mean the Sony car?
What car? The hell do you mean a car?
Yes. So
don't they
Sony,
make PlayStations?
So Sony has made the Sony Car Station, which is the sensor-studded Afeela EV, which is destined for U.S. roads in 2026.
Microtransaction mobile.
They teased this vision car in 2020, and it was announced a little bit in 2023, and then they finally showed. They showed it here just recently at CES 2023.
So I'm looking at a picture of it.
It's a PlayStation.
Even when it starts up, it starts like the PlayStation 1 starting up.
Right. It honestly, from the front angle, kind of looks like a DeLorean.
It looks like a very SUV.
like a more futuristic DeLorean, like a modern day.
The front of the car reminds me of Kit from Knight Rider.
I mean, that's true too.
It's just because of the red light.
It's Knight Rider
had a baby with
a sedan.
Yeah.
So what is this car exactly? If we had pictures of this, because again, last minute.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, we would show it. But again, look it up. The Sony Car Station 5.
You can't miss it. It looks like a gigantic iPod.
Oh, God. Sony claims it will contain a total of 45 sensors, from LiDAR to radar and in-car cameras. A stripe-like strip in the grille shows glowing different colors, allowing the car to express itself.
Express yourself.
Express. Inside, a massive screen dominates the front dash, and Sony promises it will make extensive use of its partnership in movies, music, and gaming. Damn, I can't wait to play God of War in my car.
Yeah, right?
While it drives you to your grandmother's house.
So Qualcomm's Snapdragon digital chassis will provide the computing power to make it all run. Sony says pre-orders for the Afeela will open in the first quarter of 2025, and North American deliveries will follow in 2026. I can't wait for this. I can't wait for the Car Station 6, I guess, is what this one's going to be. since 2026 is a good ways away.
Did my car mess up? Like, what's going on? Why isn't it moving? The disc is scratched.
Oh, shit.
No.
It's
skipping.
I got the digital-only version.
Yeah, right.
And I can't download a car. You wouldn't download a car.
I would. I totally would. You wouldn't download a house? Yes, I would.
I could totally see Joe sitting there getting one of these cars because, let's be honest, he's going to be, like, whenever he gets to a certain age, he's going to own the car before any of us. So, yeah, man, tech.
Yeah.
It's the thing, yeah.
On the opposite spectrum of downloading cars, I have to point this out, Volkswagen.
True. But what I was gonna say real quick though is Joe was going to sit there if he were to get the PlayStation car or the car station car or whatever like that. I could see him buying Gran Turismo or like a racing game just so he can play he can be racing a car inside his car.
I forgot about that too. That was announced because Sony had a whole thing at CES. So they announced the Gran Turismo movie.
Nice.
Let me pull this movie
the
up.
Longest, most ridiculous movie ever.
Too realistic. It's going to have such horrible controls.
How long is this movie? 7 hours.
Graphics.
So, it is being directed by Neil Blomkamp, which is the guy who did District. Was it District 9?
District 9. Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And a few other big movies. But it's the actors that are in this. We have David Harbour. We have Orlando Bloom. Oh gosh, yes, that's true. Oh. So Pirate Queen says, "Thank God it's not Nintendo. Could you imagine where you'd have to blow to make that thing work?"
Yes. But if it was Nintendo and Nintendo was in charge of making the car, we could finally get a real life Mario Kart.
That's what I just said. You'd be able to blue shell everyone.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I would real life Mario Kart, man.
I would literally, if Nintendo were in charge of making that and stuff, I would buy one just so I could. The only other thing I could afford would probably be like a thing of bananas, but it would be so literal.
Bananas?
Yes, it would be so literal. Driving down the street, going to work, throwing banana pills out my window.
Shit, I'm getting late to work. Mushroom, go!
Yeah.
Mushroom.
Patcher.
But Volkswagen.
Yes, Volkswagen. They have...
That one was interesting looking.
I don't understand that car.
Do you like to scan barcodes?
You'll
never guess what Volkswagen has in store for you.
The ID.7. No, it's not Independence Day 7. It's the ID.7. So right now they're just announced, like, they've teased the look of the car.
Yeah.
It'll be
It's got a big screen in the front too.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy about that, but it is going to be sold in 2024, is what they're saying.
Okay.
The car is coated with a digital camo, or 40 layers of paint that are electronically controllable. Said Thomas Schaefer, CEO of Volkswagen Passenger Cars. The multicolored surface of the vehicle, which lights up on command, is a special effect for this but also acts as a scannable QR code for more information about the vehicle.
Oh God.
So yes,
You
you're
weren't
driving a barcode, QR code. It literally is just a gigantic QR code car.
You go to the car garage or whatever to get like maintenance done on your vehicle and everything like that, and they were like, they don't even start asking you for your instruction manual anymore or your owner's manual. They just scan your car.
My question with this too, is that just for the show? This car has an electronic paint on it. Does that mean we'd be able to control what the car's paint is?
Essentially, yes.
God help us.
Just imagine when somebody buys one of those to think they're king shit, and they drive down the road and have an accident, and their car paint job goes boom or pow because you had a wreck.
The Batman design on
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Because that's where we're heading.
Bam!
It sucks to say it, but this is what we're like in our when we get elderly and stuff. This is what we have to look forward to. All we wanted was flying cars. We get barcodes.
Now we're going to have cars with just horrible memes painted across the side of them.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Thanks, Volkswagen.
Right.
I think when the internet gets a hold of this, like a certain online forum group that has Chan in their name.
Jackie Chan?
A Chan with a number in front of it.
Oh, God. Do me a favor real quick, JD. We're talking about vehicles with ridiculous progresses.
everything?
Yes. Look up flying motorcycle.
Oh, God, help us.
Oh, is that the... Okay. I think I know which one you're talking about.
I'm just saying. We wanted a flying car. That's all we wanted.
Yes.
Did we get it? No.
No. I want my light cycle.
Yeah, right.
I want to sit there.
That would be amazing. A light cycle.
Sit there and driving. I don't like this guy. Cut him off.
8 jet engines.
Yeah.
I'd be down for that.
So another thing with this car, like Joe said, is the front of the inside of the car, the dash. It has let me get the full details here. A 15-inch interior screen. The thing also has an augmented reality heads-up display for this car. The AR display shows the speed limit in small lettering on the windshield, so the driver can refer to it without taking their eyes off the road. The driver can also move the display around to find the optimal spot. Another common use for the heads-up display is navigation, with its turn-by-turn arrows appearing at the appropriate time to aid the driver. So this would pop up on the windshield.
Yeah.
From what I'm getting, which is kind of cool. I'm okay with that. We're getting there. Stepping stones. We got to fix the inside of the car before we get the flying car.
No.
Okay.
No.
So there's a movie. There was a movie that I watched, and I cannot remember what the name of it is right off the top of my head. But I believe it was the original Purge. The funny thing about that, I think this is where cars are heading. Because in that movie, Ethan Hawke, who was in the first Purge movie, he gets in his car and he goes, "Home, please." That's all he says. And the car autopilots and takes him home.
Okay.
And pulls into his garage and literally just opens the door and he's like, "Oh shit, I'm home." I understand that would cut back on more wrecks, of anything like that. But wow, like.
So I actually saw a really neat soccer mom van.
Okay.
So yes, please tell. Please tell.
So it wasn't anything like spectacularly fancy. I mean, it had Android Auto and Apple and all that kind of stuff in it. The headrest for the driver had a screen in the back of it so that people could watch. What are you smiling about?
Nothing. I got a certain thing ready.
Okay. God. It's got a large panoramic moonroof or not sunroof, whatever. The seats all lay back. You could camp out in this fucking thing. It's got a vacuum cleaner included in it. I want this minivan.
It's the perfect minivan.
Yes.
Oh man, perfect for vacations, etc., etc., etc. Nice.
Yeah.
There's a Roomba in the back to kind of clean up.
Yeah.
Clean our shit up.
Yeah, essentially.
Now, tell me what your.
So Joe.
Oh God.
I have our secret article, and it's
Why?
very, very. What's the word again? Topical.
Sure.
So Eric said something about autopilot AI control. and everything.
Yeah.
So you didn't think I'd get away with not saying anything about Tesla or Musk?
Oh fuck.
So, so out of left field here, Tesla pops in here. So in Bamberg, Germany, police in Germany say they had quite the attempt trying to pull over a Tesla driver who fell asleep behind the wheel. Bamberg traffic officers tailed an electric vehicle for about 15 minutes on Wednesday of actually, I think this week.
Right.
While on the country's Autobahn 70, after signaling for a traffic stop with repeated horns and sirens, according to the release from Police Bayern, which is the Bavarian police. The driver...
Just say the police.
Yes, I'm going to try my best. So the car, which was driving about 68 miles per hour...
Okay.
Was eluding these officers for 15 minutes. They pull him over finally. They get the car to pull over. Officers found that the Tesla driver was reclining in the seat with his eyes closed and his hands off the steering wheel. They were chasing the autopilot.
I thought they had built in to the Teslas to notice like certain signals that the police
I thought
were
so
after.
too. I thought so too.
Yeah.
I guess it took the AI a little bit to realize, shit, it's the popo.
It's the fuzz. Maybe I should slow down and abide by laws.
Shit.
So
Why would they be
why would they be?
Because they know they had autopilot.
Doesn't matter. Have you seen some of the accidents caused by the autopilot? Actually,
I figured out why, Joe.
Why?
In this article here for you. So the 45-year-old driver of the Tesla eventually woke up and followed police instructions. They noted that the man showed typical drug abnormalities.
oh god.
Adding to this, the police found a steering wheel weight in the footwell.
A steering wheel weight?
Such a device is used to trick Tesla's safety systems into thinking the driver's hands remain on the wheel, so the autopilot remains going.
Wow.
Smart. He's a smart drug addict.
Right.
He's a smart sleeper, is what you should say.
Yeah, right.
High as fuck, but I'm gonna let my car drive.
Yeah. I don't trust myself, but I don't have anybody to give the keys to. Oh wait,
Tesla.
my car drives itself.
Holy fuck.
All right.
Musk, take the wheel. You're handling Twitter well enough. Here, take my car for a second.
God.
I'm just wondering. I'm wondering when the police actually got the guy opened and he started like abiding by laws and everything like that. Like they were like, "No, you're still going to jail tonight." I would have loved to have seen the paperwork of what they charged him with.
Right.
We're like, "Oh, we have it's a felony, but we're gonna go ahead and sit there and say that you ran from the police." This other charge we're giving you is, we don't really like to say this charge, but it's outsmarting the police. Because essentially that's what you did.
Outsmarting
You
the
just
AI.
did not get away with it.
So, preliminary investigation was reportedly initiated against the driver, and he had to give up his driver's license until a court reaches the decision.
But he wasn't driving.
He wasn't.
They should have arrested the Tesla, that
Right.
son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Right. Take away its driver's license.
We're taking you to jail, AI.
So there's this movie called Hot Tub Time Machine 2 that talks about like time travel. In the sequel, they go in the future. You have smart cars, which in the movie, smart cars are actually, they think for themselves. And they're basically like, Teslas are going to be, essentially. They're going to be the new Ubers. You can call an Uber, fucking Tesla pulls up. It's like, get in, I'm driving. Or whatever. And you have to trust in that. So in
Nope,
Hot Tub
I
Time
do
Machine
not.
2, basically, there was two parts in the movie that made me laugh. One, when the smart car finally pulls up to one of the people in the movie, one of the main characters and everything, he was like, hey! And smacks the hood of the car. The windshield that speaks all of the different things or tells the car all these different things immediately turns red. Says warning, and then starts to sit there and say, can I commit manslaughter to this guy? That being said, the other part of the movie was they were like, oh, it's a smart car. And it was the guy that was like in the driver's seat but didn't have to touch the steering wheel. The car did everything for him because, again, it's a smart car. He was petting it like a dog. And then he was just like, what are you doing? It's a car. And he was like, yeah, but, it's a smart car and they take care of us. And he was like, whatever, this is bullshit and stuff. And the guy was just like, I respect you. I appreciate you. And just kind of pets it. And the car, beep, kind of like a little small horn. Like when you lock your car, it's like, beep, or whatever like that. That was the sound effect that they did in the movie to the smart car when you would be like, I appreciate you and you're awesome. That man was happy. Like you did right by the car, and I'm like, I don't want to live in a world like that. I really don't want to live in a world
Here
like
in
that.
10 years, you'll be petting your car.
No. Okay, I already pet my car, but it's not because it's smart. Would I actually... Okay, so here is a small, very quick discussion topic. Joe, if we had Teslas... Well, we have Teslas here, but I'm saying like the Germany Tesla.
Yeah.
That did said story that JD is talking to us about. Would you do that?
No, I enjoy driving.
JD, would you do that? Because Joe's lying to us. But would you do it?
Nah, I wouldn't.
Okay. I'm alone in my standards. Because if I could take a nap, I would do it.
Now, as a failsafe, for like, I mean, you're out at a friend's house late at night, it's a long ways away from home. You can trust in the car's abilities to navigate the roads and traffic, and you're dead dog tired. Yeah, why not? But for everyday use, I enjoy driving. I'm not a car guy by any means,
right,
whatsoever. But I enjoy driving.
See, my big thing would be is like you just said it. You're like, would I trust the car in traffic
right,
or anything like that? It's not the car that I wouldn't trust. Like, there's a reason that you go through all of the inspections and make sure that your car is to your liking. I don't trust other people on the road.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, that's true, too. Now, we could go the whole, what was the name of that movie?
Total Recall.
No.
I saw what you looked up.
It was the one where they predict what crimes people are going to do.
Minority Report.
Minority Report, yeah. And where all of the cars on the road are automated. Mm-hmm. That's different, right? Because you don't have to trust other drivers at that point. You're just, the AIs are talking to each other. They have the distances down and everything else so that they know where each other are spatially.
That'll make Skynet's job easier.
Right. So you don't have to worry about, running a drunk driver actually driving their car or whatever. But I enjoy driving, so I would not.
The big
want
nightmare, like, here's all the problems that can happen in the line here of this type of stuff going on. Yay, we got self-driving cars now. Hacker.
Yes.
Just one hacker can fuck up everything.
Oh yeah.
I'm just trying to think. Like, I've had a lot of tickets. I'm not a bad driver. I've just, when I was younger and stuff like that and thought I was invincible, I would get a lot of tickets and everything like that. But if we're going towards, like, this is the end game for us as far as the next evolution in automobiles, say we have the same thing that happened to this guy, where he was followed by the police because he had passed out because he was drunk and he had done the trickery and everything like that. I'm not even speaking about trickery. I'm just saying you have the autopilot option in your car.
Right.
Take advantage of it. If you want to take a small nap or whatever like that, lean back and relax. Let your car do everything you can because you trust in it. But here's the thing. If you're going to lay back and relax in your seat and fall asleep, unless they make the seatbelts for that,
right,
to be comfortable, you want to lean back without your seatbelt on. Do you still get a ticket for not having a seatbelt? Even though your car is the one taking over and doing everything for you.
You would still need a seatbelt of some sort.
I don't
know. So speaking of your criminal past of traffic tickets, when was your last traffic ticket?
7-8 years ago.
JD, do you remember
if
what
you jinx
year?
me tonight, I'm going to beat your ass.
Oh, jeez. I've gotten a warning or two.
Well, yeah.
But
this is besides warnings.
My last ticket, I think, was actually in 2004.
Wow. Mine was 2008.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So I actually have a great story about that because I went to remove that ticket because you could go to a class.
Right.
And I went and did that for that ticket because it was a shitty ticket. So I got this ticket. I went to this class that was basically very graphic with their videos, et cetera, et cetera. I remember sitting down, getting in there. There was a guy that was laying back, acting all cool and everything, and the cop was coming in to start the class work and everything. He looks up and he's like, "Oh, hey, Bill. I didn't expect you to be back this year." And he's like, "Oh, I got another ticket, Jim."
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
My favorite story, and this has to do with a warning that I got. So, our local town here. Right there in front of the high school, it has a 30-mile-an-hour speed limit, and it's a very small road, right? Just 2-lane road. So
it's a very speedy road.
Yeah.
That's because it goes from 30 to 45 to 60.
Yeah. So I'm going 45 through the 30, right?
Hawkeye.
Yeah. And I get pulled over, of course. So I pull into the high school entryway there.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there. The cop's behind me. He comes out, grabs my license, registration, all that fun stuff. And he goes, checks it all, comes back and says, you know how fast you're going and all that. I said, "I'm sorry, officer. I completely understand. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I just saw 3 people running across the roof of the high school."
God, I remember you telling the story.
And he's like, "What do you mean?" I said, "No, I saw 3 people running across the roof of the high school." So he looks up and he stares for a minute. Sure enough, 3 heads pop up. And he throws everything back at me, said, "Have a great night, sir." Jumps in his car, lights and sirens all the way to the high school. On his radio, calling for backup and everything else.
I have a story that's not that similar, but it has some.
You
points.
lucky son of a bitch.
I have my
Like, if I
story.
could find those 3 people, I would take them out to dinner. It'd be McDonald's, but I'd take them out to dinner.
So I have my story as well, kind of like that. It's not that, but
Right.
so here I was on a roof, but no. But
I was on the roof of a high school once,
some
and
shit pointed me out.
And I'm craving McDonald's.
But no. So Joe, you know that near my house there is a strip of road that they decided it's wide open straight shot.
yeah. Used to be 30 mile an hour there. Yeah.
Yeah, it still is like 30.
It's 40.
40.
They raised it
That's
to 40.
better.
Yeah.
I still go 30 because I don't trust it.
It is the most policed road in Indiana.
Yeah, and they park right in front of my subdivision, baby. So, yeah, I got pulled over one day on my way back from a D&D game.
Yeah.
So I had all my books in the back. All my books.
Oh, you told me this one. Yes.
So the cop pulls me over and starts off with the usual, "You know how much you've been speeding there, sir?" And blah, blah, blah. Let me get back. Wait a second. Is that 5th edition or Pathfinder? So I sit there and I start telling him, it's like, "Oh, it's a Pathfinder," because at the time we were playing Pathfinder. He's like, "Oh, man, that shit's great." And starts going off on a whole tirade about his campaign that he's been playing. 2.5, I would like to say it was probably an hour and a half, actually, to be fair. About an hour and a half of talking with this cop, with his lights still on, in front of this person's house. So he's probably this person in the house probably is waking up because this is 2 in the fucking morning. Probably sitting there like, did they, like, catch a drug lord or something? Cop sits there after a nice little conversation about his campaign, which was a really good campaign if I remember. But he sits there, he's like, "Oh, what were we talking about? I'll just forget about it. Have a good day, sir."
I hate both of y'all. Because my story is just like, I got a ticket. That's how it ends. Or I got arrested. Like, I don't have any, like, nifty, like, 3-headed monster that jumps on high school roofs and gets me out of McDonald's and shit. Or like D&D Pathfinder games. Yeah. I don't. When I get pulled over, I don't make friends. I get told I need to pay this bill at this time, very promptly or whatever like that, or I'm going to have a bench warrant issued for my arrest and I'm going to go to jail. Like, do not pass go, do not collect $200, go straight to fucking jail.
Oh, you're going to jail, all right?
Yes.
Straight to jail.
So did you enjoy your secret article, Joe?
I did. I'm still looking at this.
Pirate Queen, I had to roll.
Motorbike.
It was a multiple skill check there of deception, a little bit of religious rolls there to pray to hope nothing bad happened, and a little bit of a side of luck.
And he hit nat 20 on all of them.
Yes, thank God. But Joe, I guess to wrap it up here a little bit,
Yeah.
I have one last question.
God. Okay.
Do Teslas dream of electric QR codes?
Don't get testy with me over there.
Let me just go get my car station.
No, they don't, sir. They dream of Keanu Reeves.
Their immortal lord.
John Wick and Neo.
I can't believe you looked up a poster of them kissing.
No, he made that.
I
That was
made
an
it.
AI.
That was an AI creation.
God.
Man, I'm getting the theme of this year's episodes, and it's robots.
Speaking of that, guys, we are going to back off just a little bit. We're going to do every other week instead of every week.
Yeah.
So, just for family reasons and just personal life reasons on my side, wanting to not sleep all day Saturday.
I mean, to add
actually
on,
be productive.
To add on it as well from my end, I will give that. It does help me out a little bit too
Yeah.
with home as well, but it also helps out with us coming up with
More content, yeah.
more content. We can have bigger episodes,
Right.
even. Which, again, we've been doing pretty good on episodes. Huh? What are we at now?
66, 65.
Oh no! I mean, we're already at an hour and 44 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
So we've been doing pretty long episodes. But probably should wrap it up at this point.